Hey everyone, what's up? So, I keep hearing this Jerron in his boots, and I just want to state that you guys, you're see-through, man. You've been see-through. You guys have developed, you Spence fans, okay? You guys have developed this game where you think you are Terrence Crawford's matchmaker, and you get to pick and choose his opponent, and we've seen this even as far as Kell Brook, when a lot of you, like Trill Boxing and people like that, were saying, why don't you go fight even a Kell Brook? And Derek James was saying the same thing, because you both feed off each other. You both feed off each other's narratives. We also saw this to the lead up for Spence Crawford. Spence was actually doing some fanfare and using a lot of the YouTubers' talking points when trying to make points on how to denigrate or whatever else Terrence Crawford. But you guys have moved the goalpost every time. He's fought Kell Brook. Again, that wasn't the same Kell Brook, but we're going to give full credit for Spence fighting Kell Brook literally off of a loss to Triple G, not having time to heal and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? At least he did take the surgery or whatever he needed to do, unlike Errol Spence. But this Jerron Boots in this thing, you guys are playing the same game, and it's see-through for so many. And we also need to state the fact that you guys don't know nothing about boxing. You never knew nothing about boxing. I can name so many channels who were even claiming that Kell Brook was going to win by knockout, and these are big channels, like Contender James. And I believe he's from Texas, go figure. But boxing's too flooded with these people that try to act like they're experts on boxing when you guys don't know nothing, man. You don't even know what's there right there in front of your face on film. You know what I'm saying? But now it's Jerron in his boots. Now I'm here to oblige you guys a little bit because I've stated this on multiple videos by now. I ain't against the Jerron in his boots fight, but we all know what's going to happen. It's the same broken record. You guys are going to denigrate the win. You're going to come up with some kind of lame excuse, and Jerron in his boots and his team will come up with the excuse as well. I'm pretty sure they'll come up with something because of who you're dealing with. You know, I had broken ribs. Something was wrong with my eye. You know, I was sick, whatever else. I done seen them all come out with excuses. Gary Russell Jr., all of them. Deontay Wilder, Errol Spence. There's been nothing but excuses. You know, and everybody does it. Guys like Lomachenko do it. You know, Floyd Mayweather has done it. The old broken hand excuse. I've seen it all, guys. I've seen it all. But we already know how this story's gonna be. But I was willing to do a film study on this, although I don't think it's merited. You know, Terrence Crawford will fight Jerron in his boots, but he's correct. You guys got to put up the check. We're talking about a guy who in contract already was locked in for a rematch. And these guys have even gone as far as destroying the rematch. You understand? Now Errol Spence is finally addressing something that he's had for 3 years. Again, these dudes lie like females. Females aren't held accountable. That's why you can tell their lies very distinctively from men. You understand? And it's no different with PBC. You ran by an effeminate guy, Al Heyman, a little mama's boy. You understand? You can tell he's effeminate. You can tell his mindset, and you can tell what type of person it is by the way he moves. I'm just letting you guys know that. Some of you aren't versed in this stuff. Some of you were raised by single females, you know, single mothers, and you saw multiple men in and out of your household. I understand the effects of that, guys. Trust me, I do. What you think is natural, it's really not natural. It wasn't a natural thing. How society is shaped today. You know what I'm saying? But that's a topic all on itself. But Jerron in his boots in our film study, we were going to cover for the Crawford aspect, the Kell Brook fight. Because Jerron in his boots is a tougher fight than Errol Spence. We've said this years ago. You understand? I told this on my channel, at least, that the hardest fights for Crawford are Virgil Ortiz and Jerron in his boots. And I think Virgil Ortiz would be the harder fight. The difference already when Crawford going up against those guys or Jerron in his boots is timing and punch placement, which Errol Spence does not have. Spence is a robot. He's a broken record. He's a malfunctioned, I don't know. automaton. You know what I'm saying? He does the same thing over and over again. Jab, jab, jab. You know, left, jab, 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 jab. Left. We talked about this. Square, square, triangle, everything else. Unlike Errol Spence, Boots, and Virgil Ortiz, they have special abilities. Errol Spence's power was overrated. There's a reason why you're a volume puncher. You're a guy who has to chop down. It's a battle of attrition with a guy like Errol Spence. Guys like Virgil Ortiz and Jerron Ennis Boots, not only are you dealing with timing and punch placement, but you're dealing with guys that have special effects as well. So there's a higher risk of difficulty and danger in that fight. You understand? Jerron Ennis Boots and Virgil Ortiz both have the ability to hurt Terrence Crawford. And they're just a little bit more multifaceted than a guy like Spence. Everyone loves Spence's jab, but I'm telling you, Virgil Ortiz and Ennis Boots have better jabs. They actually know how to hit the head. Spence, again, his jab is used nothing more than deception and distraction. It's really not an effective jab unless you're one of these judges that just scores output. It's mindless volume. You know what I'm saying? But we've talked about this. Now, I was going to use the Kell Brook fight because Kell Brook had superb timing than Errol Spence. And again, he also has a far better educated jab than Errol Spence. So we were going to use that fight, you know. And it would have kind of played out the same way. I don't think Boots, because listen, you guys, everything you said about Crawford, we said this before. What you guys say about Crawford, it's mostly athleticism and what else? He don't have fundamentals, whatever else. That stuff applies more to Boots than it does Terrence Crawford. I've not seen Boots display this high boxing IQ. I've seen exceptional natural ability, but I've not seen, this man really do anything crazy where he's had to outthink opponents. I've seen him, just like a Spence, kind of outwill opponents, and there's been some blips on Boots' resume. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even going to get into Boots' resume. Again, you guys ain't keeping the same energy you have for Crawford that you are Jerron Ennis Boots, which I find hilarious. But we know what it is, guys, But it's going to be a battle of timing. It's more of a samurai fight because one shot means more to a guy like Boots, Virgil Ortiz, and Terrence Crawford than it does for guys like Keith Thurman, who are all volume punchers, by the way, like a Sean Porter. These are guys that throw almost 1,000 punches a fight, if not more. Although they can't knock people out and their KOs are dwindled, you know what I'm saying, for whatever reason. You guys can say what you want. You presented many theories in these past years, talking about why these guys ain't getting knockouts anymore, and Bud's only knocking people out, because he's fighting bums. But then when he knocks out your guys that you're hyping up, like a Sean Porter, like a Errol Spence, now he's got loaded gloves and whatever else. We've done heard it all, we done seen it all, guys. But the fight, to me, it plays out similarly to Kell Brook. But Kell Brook, he has better fundamentals and things like that. And I hate using that word now because it's been overused and perverted due to this current fan base that thinks that they know boxing. He's a textbook fighter. How you guys tried to say Errol Spence is, when Errol Spence makes so many mistakes, it's not even funny. And I'm trying to tell you guys, you're already giving a guy like Boots too much credit. This is a guy that didn't even want to fight Mean Machine. And you got to ask yourself why. Why is that the case? You understand? This is a guy who's been coddled, just like Spence and all these other dudes. They're set up mostly in showcase fights. You understand? There's nothing new to the story that you can really add, other than the fact that you guys are still trying to play the same game. A matchmaker for Terrence Bud Crawford, they moved the goalpost again. We done seen it too many times, guys, and it is the same story. And it's not going to change anytime soon. I have Crawford knocking out Jerron Ennis Boots because he makes one crazy big mistake And I'm telling you, a bum like George Sosa, who was all squared up when he landed his punch, was able to exploit his weakness. You know what I'm saying? But we know this game, and we know where it's coming from. You guys ain't Boots fans. You guys have just changed lanes. You guys have just jumped on a new pole, and that's all this is. It has nothing to do that you guys are fans of Boots. It's more so the fact that you've always hated Bud. You understand, for whatever reason. He just rubs you the wrong way. Whatever it is, you understand? We all know this game, and this game has been old, guys. Drawn in his boots again, it is a tougher fight than Spence, but that doesn't mean much, guys. It really doesn't, okay? I'm pretty sure this will end up the same way, and you guys will discredit the win again. But Crawford is valid in his need for wanting money, especially after they done killed a rematch between another high payday that he was supposed to have. This is how far they've gone when it's come to Terrence Bud Crawford, and it's been pathetic. Canelo does not have to face this type of adversity. I don't see any other fighter having to face this type of adversity that Terrence Crawford has to deal with. You understand? And it's quite pathetic from boxing. I don't understand it. To where even you gotta kill a rematch between a dude because you just simply don't want to pay him. Because the guy that you built up ain't nothing. You know what I'm saying? And now you guys still expect Crawford to play this game, go fight Amir Khan. You know what I'm saying? Go fight this guy. Go fight Sean Porter. And then again, you get no credit after he does what he does to these guys. First to knock out Sean Porter. First to knock down and knock out Spence professionally. We told you leading up to that fight, that's always been the case. Bud has always popped many cherries against certain opponents. I don't feel like getting into all the semantics in every angle that I've already covered before on this channel. But we all know what this is. We all know that you still want your get back. You understand. You want vindication from how Terrence Crawford basically embarrassed you guys and exposed you guys time and time again. And it's going to be the same thing. But I'm not opposed to the Boots fight. I think Crawford should chase Canelo. That is a very tough challenge, but a guy like Terrence Crawford, he's just built different. We've talked about it so many times. Crawford's like an anime character. This guy is kind of weird. You understand? He's kind of a weirdo when you think about it. And again, we've all heard Canelo, he's bigger, he's stronger. Well, there's a lot of theatrics and nonsense involved with Canelo fights, whether people want to admit it or not. He's kind of like a Gervonta Tank Davis. Are you a 140 pounder or not? You know, you're only a convenient 140 pounder. You're only a convenient 168 pounder. You know, you're only a convenient wanting to move up to light heavyweight fighter, although this guy has to fight at a 20-pound catch weight. You know what I'm saying? There's some things we don't have solid information on. Is size really a factor? And I see a lot of these fights that he's in. These dudes look like they're just laying down. You know, it looks like there's kind of agreements in place. You understand? And we've always maintained that Canelo is the most effective fighter on the consensus top 10 pound for pound when there's an even playing field. He has the most controversial decisions, even early in his career, guys. Vasquez. You know what I'm saying? Larry Mosley was boxing this dude with a jab. And I'm not saying Larry Mosley was robbed, but there's been some exploits that you can see easily on Canelo. Laura couldn't miss Canelo's head, regardless of how you guys scored that fight. You understand? And we're dealing with a highly competitive guy on top of a boxing guru with high boxing IQ and athletic ability, but could do backflips and all this other crap. He's a wrestler, you know. He's just a different type of cat altogether, guys. And I just don't think drawn in his boots is really going to satisfy your guys' urge. You guys should just act like you're Mexican for the time being if that fight does come to fruition between Bud Crawford, because I know a lot of you, you know, you're going to jump on that bandwagon just to see Terrence Crawford lose. You're going to temporarily be convenient Mexican fans, you know what I'm saying, when that time comes. But we've seen this game time and time again. It's a broken record. It's Spence all over again. It's whoever else all over again. Me personally, I think Virgil Ortiz is actually a harder fight for Terrence Crawford than a drawn in his boots. Drawn in his boots is too, show. You know what I'm saying? Show and tell. More so than he is a guy that I think you guys are trying to claim that he is. And you got to understand as well, you're the same people who are predicting Sean Porter to win, then acting like you didn't. You're the same people that are predicting Kell Brook to win, although today you try to act like that wasn't the case. And today you're trying to save face versus this whole Errol Spence fiasco that really exposed you guys. This is nothing new under the sun, okay? I get it. We all get it. You don't have to front on this internet anymore, guys. We get it. Group therapy session. This is the consensus what you guys have come to because you're scorned and you've been exposed time and time again, and it's going to be nothing new with no Drawn in his boots. And quite frankly, Crawford deserves, at this point in his career, to get what he finally wants, not what the fans and everybody else are trying to dictate him to go and do. He's done that game, and he's been doing it for the past 5 or 6 years. It's just that simple. We could get into all the nonsense that you guys were talking about, that this guy doesn't know his business, although he was getting paid more than these fighters that you guys claim are stars. He was selling more tickets than these guys that you guys claim are stars. Ugas, I'm pretty sure, was such a big seller, right? That fight made more business sense for PBC than a Terrence Bud Crawford fight. No. This is all fake it till you make it. Al Heyman, he's a fake it till you make it character. He's not exceptional at all. Again, you haven't even produced an Anthony Joshua. You haven't even done what other guys like, what's his name, the dude from UK, Eddie Hearn have done. You know what I'm saying? You haven't really produced a real star yet. And you haven't really produced a true Hall of Famer where I can literally sit here and say that this guy is a legitimate Hall of Famer. All their fighters feed and live by matchmaking. You understand? And opportunistic moments to fight guys. And then they duck certain guys that they know is going to be trouble. Well, go ahead and fight this guy instead. Al Heyman always has these $2 whores that they can use to try to, again, just come up on some money. Plus, you don't have to pay them that much as well. But these guys are still continuing to duck their highest and best paydays and legacy fights for circus show type of acts like we're going to see here with Keith Thurman versus Tim Tszyu here coming up shortly. I don't know what to tell you guys. This game's a broken record. If it needs to be readdressed, here it is readdressed again on this channel at least, with a refresher, which is all this is. But this has been me beating a dead horse for years. Like I said, there is a higher difficulty involved and there is a higher level of danger just because of the fact that Boots has the ability to time and play shots that his opponents don't really see coming. And that was a huge disadvantage from Spence, and we told you guys that from day one, why this fight was not going to be what you guys thought it's going to be. We're in a similar situation. If he wants to awaken Crawford, he does have the ability to hit and hurt him. I do give Drawn in his boots that. But again, if you watch the George Sosa fight and you watch other fights and he gets caught by the same sequence, Crawford, he's going to pick up on it pretty quick. I know the consensus believe that, and you guys were even saying this for Sean Porter and Errol Spence, Bud is a slow starter. It's just not the case. He does make quick adjustments, and in our film studies, we showed you guys this on film. We showed you how Hank Lundy had a better round than Spence could produce versus Terrence Crawford, but Crawford immediately made those adjustments. When Mean Machine did get Crawford on the canvas in round 3, Crawford immediately made the adjustment, and Mean Machine was tracking that, trust me. You didn't see that overhand right for a while until about, round 7, 8, or 9, you know what I'm saying? He had to go to different means and other punches because he knew that punch was already compromised. Crawford makes some very quick adjustments. And again, Boots, I just don't think he's as versatile as you guys think. He's kind of a broken record himself, although he has far more natural gifted talent than a guy like Errol Spence. I'll give you guys that. And I'm not opposed to it. If they want to make Bud a 3-time undisputed champion because of idiot boxing politics where dudes are doing some very effeminate moves in the background, having sanctioning bodies strip a guy, although they didn't strip Spence for whatever reason, a guy who's been through car wrecks and everything else. Now they're going to hold the responsibility on Bud, and it's just to me, again, I'm trying to tell you, maturity-wise, mental-wise, Boots is not on Bud's level. I'm telling you that right now. Again, they didn't even want to fight a meme machine, guys. They've been comfortable feasting on these people that they've been given, which are nothing but sacrificial lambs. You know what I'm saying? And it seems like they're really not trying to challenge themselves at all. I showed you, we backed this up with clips, with receipts and everything else. This dude puts more emphasis on Barrios and whoever else than he does when it comes to Terrence Bud Crawford. Again, these dudes always have problems when you try to get them to say Bud's name for whatever reason. It's no different with Boots. They're trying to use PR and everything else. We've talked about this in the past. Nothing new under the sun, guys. We will hit you with a new video. I just want you guys to know you're not fooling anybody, acting like you're now Boots fans and Boots has really earned his shot versus Terrence Crawford, whatever else. Well, that's cool. I'm glad you guys are that way with Boots, although his resume and accolades don't even come close to a Terrence Bud Crawford that you guys tried to denigrate when it came to Errol Spence when you were trying to protect him. Nobody, you know what I'm saying? And the truth of the matter is, you know, Eddie Hearn has addressed this within the past week. He has kind of a deception status on where he is as a star and all that crap. Money-wise, it doesn't make sense if you guys are into that type of talk. But again, Boots ain't selling nothing, and really nobody really knows Boots. That's just a small circle of you guys, a small crowd, you understand, who are very loud on the internet, but you don't represent reality, and you never have. Not when it's come to your predictions, not when it's come to you calling fights or anything, or judging these fighters, you know, from the beginning. You know what I'm saying? Bud should already have 5 L's by now, according to you guys. You know, Brooke, Porter, you know what I'm saying? And he was ducking all these guys too, mind you. I could bring those videos up. He was ducking Porter. He was ducking Brooke. He was ducking Spence. And now he's ducking Boots. It's been the same story, guys. We will talk to you guys later, but you guys know what it is. And you guys know you're full of cap. And the majority of us who actually pay attention to detail and things do as well. It's cute, you know what I'm saying? But we already know how this game ends. We've seen this game so many times. It's a rerun, guys. We'll talk to you later. Bye.